the Prince of Wales has had his fair share of awkward slip-ups, bumbling comments, and tense public interactions.
Charles said what about Princess Diana? The royal family, just your everyday folks, except with castles, titles, diamond-stuffed vaults, incredible amounts of ridiculous wealth, and a jewelry collection that could probably change an entire nation's economy for the better.
These things, again, as I was saying earlier, are so personal.
But hey, beneath the crowns and the gem-covered tiaras, they're not immune to uncomfortable incidents. And sure, for us common people, our embarrassing moments might not be broadcast worldwide.
We've given something back to the many individuals in the crowds.
But at the same time, we can all appreciate a good old-fashioned cringe, can't we? Here are the most cringe-worthy royal family moments that have been caught on video. Prince Phillips' outburst towards a photographer.
The world's most experienced plucker man.
Prince Philip, the young-hearted 94-year-old. During a ceremony that was commemorating the Battle of Britain's 75th anniversary back in 2015, Philip showed that even in your twilight years, time waits for no one.
I'm sorry to hear you standing down. I'll stand up.
And during a seemingly sluggish photo-taking session, Philip decided to take matters into his own hands, where he blurted out to the photographer, "Just take the picture!" And judging by the laughter in the background by the other royals, it seems to be that Philip voiced what the rest were thinking. I mean, we've all been there, right? Where grandma won't just put down the camera at the family dinner, picture this and smile for that. Except for the most part, we keep that feeling in our own heads. Philip, who's gonna blame the man? He was 94 years old, and who knows how much time he had left. I mean, we know now in hindsight, but at the time, who knew? And patience was probably running thin.
Quite a romantic gesture.
This also wasn't Prince Philip's first public gaffe. The man had a knack for the craft. Back in 2010, Philip engaged in a slightly eyebrow-raising chat with a 24-year-old female Navy Sea cadet, who also happened to work in a club. And when they were discussing that, Philip replied to her, "Oh, what type of club? A strip club?" Classic Philip, am I right?
And I just said that I worked in a club. And then he asked, "Oh, what, a strip club?"
Luckily for Philip, most of his controversial interactions predate social media and constant cameras on him. So therefore, a lot of them just live on in words only. Such as the time Philip asked an Aboriginal Australian if they were still throwing spears, or the time he told a group of British students in China that if you stay in China much longer, you'll all be slitty-eyed. Yikes. Nowadays though, stepping outside their palace gates is basically like stepping onto a global stage. And for the royals, the public and paparazzi and cameras are documenting every one of their moves like it's a blockbuster film. Just like that time that Prince William was caught red-handed busting it down in the back of a club in Switzerland. The royal shuffle. In 2017, while on a ski trip in Switzerland, Prince William decided to unleash his dance moves in the back of a nightclub. See, paparazzi cameras were already on the case, obviously, as they captured William grooving solo, while the rest of the crowd seemed pretty nonchalant about the royal presence in the club. Surprisingly, Prince William's dance skills weren't actually half bad, and he compensated for any lack of finesse in his moves with just good old enthusiasm. And to be fair, imagine every time you were dancing at a club, there were cameras on you. See, immediately after hearing about this story, I no longer want to be a royal because I want to let it bust down in peace. What about the time when Prince Harry reprimanded a reporter? I can't believe we've made it this far into this video without touching on the royal mishap king himself. Although that is the only king he'll ever be crowned as. As one of the Queen's grandsons, Prince Harry finds himself under constant media scrutiny. However, he seems to struggle often with handling this type of attention. In October 2019, Sky News correspondent Rhiannon Mills approached the prince with questions as he entered his car. Mills inquired, "That short conversation, what do you hope to achieve through it?" To which Prince Harry seemed to be seemingly taken aback by the intrusion. He responded, "What? Ask them." And then Mills persisted, asking, "Is that why it's important for you to come and talk to them?" At that point, Prince Harry basically lost it when he expressed his displeasure, waving his hand right in Rhiannon's face, saying, "Rhiannon, don't behave like this."
That's your conversation. What do you hope to achieve through it?
Ask them.
Is that why it's important for you to come here and talk to them?
Prince Harry's abrupt response may be attributed to Rhiannon Mills breaking protocol, as the royals typically avoid unscheduled interviews during public engagements, which is a policy that Rhiannon Mills completely disregarded in this scenario. Harry has continuously demonstrated a willingness to confront the media when they overstep their boundaries. Around the same time, he issued a rare statement in defense of his wife, Meghan Markle, who took legal action against the Mail on Sunday for publishing a private handwritten letter to her estranged father. While acknowledging the need for responsible media, Prince Harry criticized the British tabloid press for promoting relentless propaganda about his family. Now, I'm gonna fall asleep if we keep talking about Harry and the media. So why don't we talk about the time that Prince William fell asleep during church instead? Caught red-handed, Mr. William. See, life as a royal is tiring, but life with a newborn kid, well, that's just a recipe for sleep deprivation now, isn't it? 2 days after Prince Louis was born in 2018, Prince William got caught snoozing at a church service in Westminster Abbey. People felt for the tired dad, given the obvious dark circles under his eyes. You know what they say? New baby, new sleep struggles. I've never heard anyone say it, actually. Once those sleepless nights settled a bit, Prince William gladly handed over the sleep-deprived crown to his brother Harry. Because when Harry and Meghan welcomed their son Archie in May 2019, William told BBC News that they were absolutely thrilled for the couple. Adding a touch of humor, he insisted that, "I'm very pleased to welcome my brother to the sleep deprivation society that is parenting." Speaking of youngins and royal babies, what about the time our lovely Princess Charlotte completely blew off the press? Yes, that's right. Princess Charlotte, at the ripe age of just 3 years old, showed off her sassy skills during her baby brother Louis's christening back in July 2018. As the family left the service, Charlotte took charge. She turned right towards the lurking paparazzi and told them straight up, "You're not coming." Talk about asserting authority, Charlotte. As the future is bright for this one if she continues with these remarks towards the paparazzi. It wasn't Charlotte's first encounter with the press. At the age of 2, she had a mini meltdown towards the press while boarding a plane back to London. And who can forget the iconic moment when she stuck her tongue out on her way to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding back in 2018. Plus, there was the other time she stuck her tongue out at the cameras of a charity event where she prompted quick damage control from her mama, Kate Middleton. Ah, Princess Charlotte. She's mastered the art of making headlines and memes from such a young age. Now, in what could possibly be the most cringeworthy and awkward moment in royal history, Prince Charles, now King Charles, completely traumatized Princess Diana in an interview with the press. This crazy moment consisted of an interview involving Prince Charles and Princess Diana during their engagement announcement. The interview is now immortalized on YouTube, and it took a turn for the worse when the couple was asked if they were in love. Princess Diana, with a shy look down, responded, "Of course," while Charles smiled and dropped a bombshell of a response, where he claimed,
Whatever in love means.
"Excuse me, Charles." Fast forward a few years and Princess Diana recounted this cringeworthy moment during a 1992 follow-up interview. Diana's disbelief was palpable, to say the least, as she quoted, "I was brought up in the sense that, when you got engaged to someone, you loved them," where she reflected on the infamous interview. She continued and added on, "And the most extraordinary thing is we had this ghastly interview the day we announced our engagement, and this ridiculous interviewing man asked, 'Are you in love?' So I thought, oh, what a thick question. And I said, yes, of course we are. And Charles turned around and said, whatever in love means." See, Princess Diana didn't hold back her feelings, admitting, "That threw me off completely. I thought, what a strange answer. God, it absolutely traumatized me." Talk about an unforgettable and cringe-worthy royal moment. But Charles's cringe doesn't stop there, as he made a borderline gross remark to the media one time, claiming that, and you're gonna hear me right here, Princess Diana was an extremely attractive 16-year-old girl, which wouldn't be the worst thing to say if he wasn't 29 years old at the time that Princess Diana was 16 years old. In the same interview as the previous remark, when asked about Charles's instant impression of Diana upon their first meeting, Charles confidently stated, "I remember thinking, what a very jolly and amusing and attractive 16-year-old she was." Oof. I mean, he could have just left the age out of that statement and everything would have been fine. The comment stirred discomfort, obviously, especially considering Charles was 29 at that time. It has also been reported that Charles initially dated Diana's older sister, Sarah, in 1977, before eventually coming on to Diana instead of Sarah. Charles and Diana tied the knot when Charles was 32, and Diana had just turned 20. And when asked about their 12-year age gap in a 1981 interview with the New York Times, Prince Charles remarked, "Diana will certainly keep me young." Charles. What can I say? So which of these insanely awkward royal moments were the most cringeworthy? Which royal family members have had the worst media press? The list goes on and on and on and on with moments that have been caught on camera. So let us know. Would you like to see part 2? You can tell us in the comments below. Until then, keep your head up high and do not mess with Princess Charlotte.